It's May 27th, 2024, Memorial Day, here in Moscow, Russia. I just found out that I have to get a surgery. There's some problems with my stomach, to say the least. I was talking to a childhood friend yesterday anyway, it doesn't matter, but I was talking to him about how I had to leave Russia, and what he said was he didn't understand the situation. And so I'm standing here in front of the Moscow, Russia American Embassy, and as everybody knows, there has been some problems with Ukraine since 2022. There's been fighting with Ukraine, and my friend didn't really understand the situation, and so I'm just gonna read off some information from the American Embassy here, and then also the Russian State, or actually the State Department. First, let me start with the State Department. Russian travel advisory. Do not travel to Russia due to the unpredictable consequences of the unprovoked full-scale invasion of Ukraine by Russian military forces. The U.S. government's ability to provide routine or emergency services to U.S. citizens in Russia is severely limited, particularly in areas far from the U.S. Embassy in Moscow. There have been numerous reports of drone attacks, explosions, and fires in areas in western and southern Russia, particularly near the Russian border with Ukraine, as well as in Moscow and St. Petersburg. In the event of an emergency, U.S. citizens should follow instructions from local authorities and seek shelter immediately. So, on March 8th, 2022, a couple of days before there was the election here in Russia, and that's the quote from the State Department. There was a warning. By law, they're supposed to give warnings. The American government is supposed to give warnings. And there was a warning of an imminent terrorist attack. This is on March 8th. And then on March 22nd, there was a terrorist attack. Yeah, March 22nd. I went there, like, for my birthday, and saw it. Hundreds of people died. And it was Tajiks that did it, Muslim Tajiks. So that was just 2 months ago. So my friend was asking me about the situation of whether the embassy can help me, and the answer is no. I have to leave in a couple of months, and I have no family. My family is dead. My parents are both dead, and my brother committed suicide. And so I'm here alone in Moscow, and I have to depend on friends old and new. So that warning that I read was a level 4 warning, the highest level of warning in Moscow. And so again, this is the Moscow Embassy of the American Embassy, Memorial Day. So I'm just going to read this right now. This is for citizens here in Moscow. Information for U.S. citizens in Russia. Travel options out of Russia. U.S. citizens should leave Russia via commercial options still available. The situation on Russia's borders is always changing. Okay, air travel options for U.S. citizens. Be aware the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration downgraded the air safety rating for Russia. Okay. Explore Russian commercial air routes through non-European destinations. Ask family and friends outside of Russia to help you buy airline tickets. There was another site, I have it on my phone, that basically says the embassy's not going to help you. It's not going to pay. Ask family and friends outside of Russia to help buy airplane tickets. This is especially helpful if debit cards are not working as described below. Consider contacting a global travel company to buy airline tickets. Travelers may also depart via some of Russia's land borders. More information is below. Okay. Use of credit cards and access to foreign currency. International sanctions have been imposed on Russian banks due to Russia's military actions in Ukraine. As a result, U.S. issued credit and debit cards will not work in Russia. Travelers may consider using local credit cards, cash, or other forms of payment. Travelers can also ask family and friends outside of Russia to buy their tickets. U.S. citizens should take this into account when making travel plans. So because of sanctions, credit cards, American credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, nothing works here. Okay, be aware the exclusion of Russia from the SWIFT system has made money transfers to and from the United States impossible. So because of sanctions, Visa doesn't work, MasterCard doesn't work, and they have their own system called the Mir. I showed my friend my Mir card yesterday. My Visa card was hijacked. And the medical system here is terrible. I mentioned that in my last video yesterday actually. No, 2 days ago, on Saturday, May 25th. The medical system here is just terrible. The Bank of Russia announced that non-residents from both friendly and unfriendly countries may transfer funds abroad in the amount of their wages. That causes a lot of problems too. And the banks here rip people off. Raiffeisen especially is just a terrible bank. And Spear Bank is absolutely horrible. It's a horrible, horrible bank. Alpha Bank is the worst, absolute worst. And Raiffeisen Bank is pulling out. They're a German company. They're absolutely terrible, horrible companies. Spear Bank, Alpha Bank, and Raiffeisen, absolutely terrible. So anyway, the bottom line is this: if you're still following, if you're still listening to this, is that working here is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I've worked here for 8 years. English companies, they rip you off. I've taken people to court. I've threatened to take people to court. I've won several 100,000 rubles in court. It's just terrible. They rip people off. There's a reason why Intertourist, they did a survey in 2022, and they said that only Italy, Kuwait, and South Africa are worst for expats, for people from other countries. Kuwait, South Africa. So Russia is 53rd. And if you don't speak Russian here, the hospital system is a joke. It's just a complete nightmare. Every step of the way, I've been ripped off. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars I've been ripped off here. My inheritance, the police won't do anything, and I've been beaten here several times. The last time I was beaten was on Christmas, December 25th, 2022, and that was because I was protesting First Channel Russia. And then I was taken to the police station, and the police officer hit my head up against the wall. So that's my Russian adventure. And so I need to leave in a couple months. I have no family. So, and then I have to depend on friends that I've known from childhood. So If you can help, please private message me, contact me. It's just, yeah, so that's my situation. Thanks, bye. Travis Lee Bailey, Moscow, Russia, March 27th, 2024, Memorial Day.